Today's victim, we have ourselves a 2016 Range Rover Sport. This one's specifically the diesel, but this procedure should be the same for any Range Rover Sport or Range Rover full size of this generation. We're going to change the rear brakes, pads, and rotors. My name is Jeremy, this is Region Automotive, and let's get to work. Okay, so we have to take care of a couple things on the interior before we service the brakes. I press this guy down first and then press the pedal down first, and then I cycled the ignition on and off as you saw there, and then our message came on the dash saying that park brake is in service mode, so that's good. So next we're going to put the air suspension in service mode, so I'm just going to click this once, and then I'm going to hold this for half a second so that when we see that lock illuminated, we know our suspension is also at access height. So right now our park brake and our suspension is in service mode. Okay, so once you have suspension in access height, parking brake in service mode, next step, lift, jack up your vehicle. This thing has good reinforced points on the pinch weld, so pretty straightforward to do that. And then our first step is going to take off the wheel. I have the special locking lug nut. My lug nuts are 22 mil, but I always bring an extra size. So that one fits good, for example. That one's okay. These ones are kind of swollen. It's this stupid lug nut design where it's like the steel lug nut that has the aluminum cap on top, like the beauty cap, I guess, and they swell. So I just bring a larger socket. I just use 23 mil for the ones that are swollen, and that should zip them off. So just get the tire off there. So next up, we're going to unplug our electronic parking brake. Just a little tab clips up there, slides right off. So once we get everything lifted in service mode, get the parking brake kind of sorted out there, it's really just changing like changing brakes on any other vehicle. So we have our, holy crap, we have our, probably work to have it the right way. We have our caliper slide pins, which are 13 mils. Make sure you have your ratchet set in the right direction. You may have to hold the slide pin itself if it's spinning there, but luckily nothing's too seized up on mine. So I'm just holding the slide pin, taking the little 13 mil bolt off. So same story. Just get the bottom 13 mil off. Take your caliper off. Set that to the side. We'll deal with that in a sec. Yeah, so my specific vehicle, my rear rotors were just absolutely warped. I could tell because the vehicle was shaking under heavy braking and it was not going through the wheel. And yeah, these pads are just seized. So I'll show you a trick in a sec how to prevent the seizing. And then yeah, the rotors are so worn. There's a big lip on them. So to get the caliper bracket off, you're going to need a triple or a 12-point socket. Well, that's kind of annoying. I bought this 12-point socket set for another project, and it goes 11, 12, 13, 14, skips 15, 16, 17. 15 is the one I need. So I'm gonna grab a wrench. So for those of you that may not know, if you have your normal combination wrenches here, the closed end is normally a 12-point. So I just have a 12-point 15 mil wrench. And you may need a pipe or a breaker bar, and make sure I'm behind the car to actually make sure I get it the right way here. So mine's turning slowly there. Take your time. Make sure not to strip those out. Don't hurt yourself. Make sure the pipe is properly seated if you're using one. I'm just going to try it without here. Yeah, just turning as I get covered in water. There you go. So I'm just working these 15 mil 12-point bolts off for the caliper bracket. Slowly but surely, these bolts are coming off. I wish I had that socket. That'd be much quicker, but they're coming off with the closed end on my 15 mil wrench here. So just to show you what that bolt looked like, that back caliper bolt I was taking off. Again, 15 mil, 12-point goes on the back there. There's no other Like I wouldn't use any other socket. Make sure you actually have a 12 point. And then I just worked off all those threads, obviously. So with both bolts off, our caliper bracket with our pads, our very seized pads, should slide off there. Next we have the rotor hold down screw. I have a T50. I like using an impact. It kind of just shocks these screws. If you have one, just be very careful not to strip this. So just make sure it's fully seated, pressing on the impact, keeping pressure, making sure the bit doesn't walk out or come out and start to strip. So yeah, just direct pressure on the screw and it should come off. And then luckily, again, our rotor is not seized, so we're gonna take that off. So we might as well just put the rotor right on since we have it off. What I like to do, some people like to put anti-seize on the flange face. I just like to use fluid film. Same thing, it just protects the rust, keeps everything lubricated, coats the rust, and then I even coat the lugs. It makes it easier. Coat the threads for the rotor there. Put our rotor on, sprayed the threads. I really like the fluid film actually because it reacts with the rust and it kind of lubricates. So yeah, it just reacts with the rust on the thread. So now it's going in nice and smooth there for that little set screw. This guy, I'm not going to zip on with the impact. I do not want this too tight. Just give it a little snug with the ratchet. This is just there to hold it on while you get everything together. Yeah, so pretty much once the wheel starts to turn, that's good. Okay, so the last thing I'm doing here before I go prepare my pads is just pushing this caliper piston in. You can use a regular caliper tool. I just can't find mine. It looks like it requires the tool that winds back the threads, but it doesn't. That's what this tool is, but like I said, I can't find my regular tool, so I'm just winding this piston back in here. She's moving nice and freely, so that's good. It's not seized up or anything like that. So I'm just putting together this caliper assembly here. For me personally, if these slide pins are sealed and they're not seized and they're moving freely, I just don't touch them. Like, I don't want to break this seal to possibly introduce water into the slide pin. So again, if they're just moving freely, they're not seized up, I don't touch them. I can tell that this thing had cheap aftermarket brakes on, because usually what happens is these pads don't fit perfectly in the sliders. So then they rust and they seize up, kind of like this one is. So like, no wonder the frickin' rotors were warped. It's because the pads were seized and the brakes are hardly working. So I am going to replace these pins with the new ones in my kit. Okay, so the thing I like to check is I put the pads in the sliders, like so, and just check how freely they slide. Like, this actually has a bit of resistance. I don't know if it's worth it on this one. Usually what I do is, if they're really tight to slide with these cheap pads, I take a bench grinder and I just kind of grind away this ear a little bit so they slide a little bit more freely, because I think that's the problem with these cheap pads, is they just seize up because they're so tight in there and then they can't move, so then it warps your rotors. But like, this one slides freely enough. I'll put my fluid film or grease. I'll probably grease up these sliders, and I think that'll be enough for this one. But that's one thing I like to check, is if they're tight in here and it's really hard to slide them through, then I take a bench grinder and I grind down the ear of the pad so it slides away freer, and then I either paint the ear, the pad, paint, and then put fluid film so they don't rust. Well, this is quite unfortunate. I was putting on the new rotor there, and I was having issues getting the caliper bracket, like the threads just weren't lining up and they're starting to cross thread, and I took the bracket off and I like ran the bolts through and they ran through just fine, put the bracket on. It like just was not lining up. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And I'm like, maybe I got the wrong size rotor, because I know these have a few different sizes, and that is the case. My old rotor, they measure them in mils. So my old rotor is 350 mil there, and this guy's a 365, unfortunately. So it's 15 mils too large. That sucks because I bought these a while ago, so I probably won't be able to return them, and I bought nicer ones. So this is pretty much a waste of rotors. So I'm going to have to put this thing back together with the old brakes and order the right size rotor. But I will show you at least how to put it back together with the old brakes, and you'll still have the process on how to change them. And this is a message to triple check your rotor size. I really thought I did. Maybe I measured it when it was on the car, so my perspective was wrong, but that really sucks. So now I can show you that trick I was talking about. So I did it with the old pads here. I just had my bench grinder there, and I just like ground down a little bit of the material there, a little bit on that side at the top, and then I put like little chamfers on the corners here. So these pads should slide in those sliders much better. Like I said, though, be careful because you'll have the exposed metal, so that will start to rust. So these are old pads. Like I plan on ordering the rotors and re-replacing them right away anyway. But if this was new stuff, like you'd want to kind of tape that off, paint that, use some sort of rust paint, fluid film protection, just so that doesn't rust and create the same problem again. And now you can see how much freer that pad slides in the pins there. So that's what you want, is that free sliding so it doesn't freaking seize up. So everything just went on in reverse. Once you have the right size rotor, put the caliper bracket on, those 15 mil bolts tighten up on the back, the 12 points, put the pads in, obviously, put the rotor on. You kind of just have to get past, like angle it in, get past the electronic parking brake first, 12 mils, tighten those up, and then you can see, again, our sliders are just fine because this caliper is sliding freely. Put the tire on, and then I'll go up and show you how to take the parking brake and suspension out of service mode. So our last step to release the parking brake is opposite of how we put it in service mode. So power on, and then instead of pushing down, I'm pulling the park brake up, and then I'm hitting the throttle accelerator. So then now I have park brake handle up and accelerator down. I'm going to turn off the vehicle, the power, and then turn it back on. And we are out of service mode. Thanks for watching the video, you guys. Hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.